Hello friends, in this video you're going to learn how to create a skip navigation button on your website. I'm going to be using Oxygen Builder for this, but this is not builder specific, so you can use this on any website that you want to work on. All you need to do is just to follow the structure and the instructions. Now I'm going to demonstrate what I mean. So typically in a website you have your navigations, and then when you hit the space bar, you see you get the tab, goes to your nav element. Now in a situation where you want to skip the navigation, you typically will want to have a skip navigation button. I'm going to refresh this website and hit the tab, and you're going to see a skip to main content comes up. And then when I hit the enter button and I hit the tab again, you see it changes the focus to the next focusable element on the page, and that's what we're going to be building. And by the way, I want to mention that I'm using a really super fast server here, and it's from WebNestify. And if you're using Oxygen Builder or any other builder, you want your website to run super fast, you want to check out this guy, webnestify.cloud. I'm going to put the description or the link in the description below, so check it out. And let me just demonstrate what I mean. Now this Oxygen, I'm going to time how fast this page is going to reload. So I'm just going to click the reload button, and then I'm going to click that. So let's see how fast it reloads, and it does that in 3 seconds actually. And let's try that again. I'm gonna do this, and in 3 seconds or 3 point something seconds. So that's pretty fast, and it also affects the front end speed, so I've tested it out. So you want to check these guys out. There's not much information here, but just check it out. Probably join the waiting list. I had the opportunity to test the server, and it's really fast. And one of the things I noticed is that sometimes when you're working with some of these servers, it's the backend gets really low, especially when you click plugin. It takes quite a while to load, but in this case this loads very super fast. Everything is just snappy. So check it out, especially if you want to move from a shared hosting environment to a dedicated service with a full suite of server-side management services. Just check these guys out. I think it's really awesome. Now I have a website set up here, so I'm just going to refresh this, and I'm going to hit the tab, and you can see it's just moving through the tabs, all the elements. Now we want a situation in a website like this where you have a couple of link items. You want to skip, give the user an option to skip to the main content. And what we want to do is to build that in a main template. So where you have your header and your footer. So I have my header at my main template in the Oxygen here. So where I have my header, I'm just going to drop a button. So all you need to do is just to drop a link button, So I'm just going to use a link wrapper for mine. Inside that link, I'm just going to add a text, and that text, I'm just going to say skip to main content. You can just say skip navigation, but I'm just going to say skip to main content. And I'm just going to do just a little bit of styling there. So the background, I'm going to give it a background of black, and I'm going to give the typography white, and then the width, I think this is spanning, because it is outside, it spans the whole width. It's outside of a container, so it spans the whole width. So I'm just going to go in and give it a maximum width of, let's say, how many? Let's say 200 pixels. Basically, that's what I want to do with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a class. Perhaps I should have just given it that class, but then I can always copy the style. So I'm just going to say skip nav btn button. So I'm giving it that class, and I'm going to go ahead and copy those styles to that class and delete the styles from the ID. So we have that. I want to give this 1 rem and apply all. So yeah, so I have that. Then the next thing I want to do is to change the position to absolute, and that's going to be absolutely position relative to the viewport. And for the Z index, I'm just going to give it a higher Z index than the header, because we want it to show up. Maybe the left, probably want to give it maybe 3 rem to come out a little bit, and the top maybe 1 rem, so that when it comes up, it's just like about that. Let's give this maybe 1 rem also. So this is where we want it to stay when it comes up. And now we want to link it to the main section. So we're going to go to primary, and for the link, we want to give it a hash link of an ID of a section called main underscore content. Now my inner content is supposed to be my main, okay, my main content. So I just want to go there and change the tag to main. And but then my ID, I can't really set an ID here to that inner content. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to get the ID of that main by going here, and then I'm going to, so you're going to see I have my header, and I have my main, and then it has this ID. Unfortunately, I can't change that ID here right now. So I'm just going to grab that ID the way it is, which is the inner content ID. And that's going to be the ID of a main content, and then I'm going to replace this. So now I'm going to just click save. Then the next thing to do is just to get this to go out of sight. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a style sheet. I'm just going to call it navs, my navigations for the style sheet. Once again, let me check the class. So the class was skip nav. I'm just going to double click that to copy. By the way, I'm using RECODA workspace. That is why my Oxygen builder interface is looking different, and I'm able to double click this just to copy the class. And if I hold down shift, or is it control to double click it, it's going to copy it with the dots. Yep. So I'm going to go back to these, and I want to start styling this. I'm just going to paste it there. And if I say that, and then I open and close my bracket and say transform, transform is translate y. Yep, let's go there. The translate y will be, I want to make it negative 300%. All right, so you can see it's out of sight, but that's not the only thing I want to do. I want to give it a transition. I want to give it a transition of transform, okay, of 0.4 seconds. And then I want to give it a very high Z index. Of course, I've already done that. Now, I don't want this CSS to apply to the builder. So I'm just going to add an extra CSS that says not, okay? And that's going to be not ng scope. Now, this is specific to Oxygen. So it's not ng scope that. So it's going to make sure that this doesn't apply while I'm inside the builder. If you're using any other builder, you have to find the specific class of the builder, and then exclude it so that it doesn't show. The next thing I want to do is to set it to show when it is on focus. So I'm just going to say the skip button, but I still want to do the same thing, okay? But at this point it's not necessary because I'm not going to be focusing inside the builder. So I'm just going to say focus, and that is going to be transform, and then that translate y. I'm just going to copy this, and then that is going to be 0. So let's just put 0 there. So what will happen is that when we focus on it, it's going to come back up. So I'm just going to save that and then refresh this. Let's refresh that, and then it still shows. It's not supposed to show, so something is wrong there. So we didn't do not, okay? Yeah, that's why. So let me save that again, and then I'm going to refresh. And so if I hit the tab, and of course it doesn't work because probably something is overriding it, but let me, just to be sure that nothing, that the CSS is working, I'm going to add important here just to check. And let me refresh this again. Oh, sorry, I just closed that. So I'm just going to open this, and I'm going to hit. Now if I hit that, if I hit enter, it jumps the navigation and then moves to the main content area where I can start navigating. So now if you want to take care of the important, perhaps you could add some specificity to it. I'm not quite sure what is overriding it, but then if I use the ID to style it, it's probably going to, let me just give it an ID of skip underscore nav. I'm just going to copy that, and then let's go back and let's see if we use the ID. If I remove the important, if it's going to make any difference. So let's see. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to refresh this, and then I'm going to hit, and it works without putting the important. So guys, that is it on how to create the skip navigation button. If you want to know more about RECODA workspace, check out the video I'm going to link on the top right corner here. Until next time, have a great day.